Hi. So I am making a video that will kind of show you how to make a Google site from scratch. And the goal is for it to look a little bit cuter than, I guess, the average site. So what you're supposed to go do is go to sites.google.com. A lot of people will do sites.google.com/new. I just clicked the plus sign and created a new one. So this is kind of what you'll have right here. First thing you should do probably is name your site, sample, teacher site, whatever your name is, whatever you want to call it. If you don't do that, you will not have a title up here. So if you notice, if you're on Blogger, if you're on someone's website, they always have a title up there. If you don't name this, it will not have a title. I personally will end up deleting this, but we'll get to that first. So one of the first things I like to do is, decide what pages that I have. And I know that's something that a lot of people change, and a lot of people have different types of pages. And um, depending on your needs, the older the students are, maybe you want to have more resources compared to the younger students. So what I did was I went over here and I knew I wanted an About Me page. So I added About Me. I knew I wanted a separate contact page. Um, I knew I wanted a um, a page about uh, for parents because I have a lot of resources for them, a page for students, and then I know I wanted a page for assignments, and I usually have a newsletter. If you notice, this is starting to get a little bit cluttered. And I still haven't even added the subject. So, I'm typing too fast for my computer. So we have math, we have communication arts, we have social studies, we have science. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time today. Science. We have health. And, it's getting cluttered. Then there's the more section. We have too many pages for my taste. If you don't care, you can leave it. I feel like it looks a little too cluttered for me. So what I did was I ended up having a welcome section. And I scrolled that all the way to the top. And I knew I wanted to have the About Me page in there, the parents page, the students page, and the where did my contact page go? So, and a contact page. There we go. Okay. So I wanted to make sure all of these things were in there. And I wanted the About Me page first. So what's neat about Google Sites is that you can add all these different pages, and you can add sub pages, and you can add sub pages within the sub pages. And that makes it nice because then it doesn't get quite as cluttered. But it still, to me, was a little too cluttered. So I added a subjects category. And then where is that showing up? There it is, except for it went in the wrong spot. So I'm going to drag it. So it's really, really simple to use. That's one great thing about Google Sites. It's really simple. So now I'm going to drag my subjects to subjects category. There we go. So I can reorder these in the order that I think is best. And then if you notice, it doesn't look quite as cluttered. So you have your welcome section, your assignments, newsletter, and then all the subjects. Okay, and within these, you can add subcategories. Okay, so I'm kind of organized. I kind of have a starting point, but not really a fan of how this looks. Okay, so I'm gonna go click back to my home page, and now I can insert things. Now I had Blogger for a long time. I used Blogger for many years. I had my own blog before I started teaching, so I was comfortable with Blogger. I knew how to use it, and actually, when I first started teaching, there wasn't anything called Google Sites, as far as I know. And so I ended up using Blogger to create my website, and this is what it looked like before. And it's so cute, and I have my little school logo down there. I have different buttons that I made. They're linked to different places. I have different resources for the different units in here. I have videos, all kinds of things. But I just kind of felt like Google Sites looks a little more professional. It's super simple to use. And as a teacher whose school district uses the G Suite, I use Google for everything. I rarely use any of the Microsoft products other than I will show you on a video how to make these cute things in PowerPoint. But generally speaking, for school things, I have learned to use Google Slides. They've actually added a lot more fonts to Google Slides. I use Google Docs, but I use Google Slides honestly a ton, Google Sheets. And what's great is that this is perfect for that because you can integrate. If you notice, you have docs, slides, sheets, Google Forms we use a lot. You can integrate it right into the website from Google Sites. And so it makes complete sense for the switch over to Google Sites if you're using Blogger, which is Google, honestly. But it does not have this integration and this, user-friendly capability, which I really found was kind of what made me make the switch after using Blogger for so many years. So there's one thing that I don't like is that there aren't hardly any fonts to choose from on here. It's just very basic web fonts. Okay, so yeah, you can go to theme and you can change this and you can change the color. But you can even change the image. You can select an image from here. They have a lot of different pictures that you can choose from. But I mean, honestly, these aren't personal enough for me. They're not bright enough. You can adjust the readability by clicking this, and it should brighten up the page. But maybe it's not working for this particular one. But one thing is once you start adding things, so let's say you add, decide you want to add some things here, and you start scrolling. Oh, there it goes. See how nice and bright that is now. Once you take that off, but you can't really tell from this one. But your words kind of get hidden behind the header because it's all part of the same thing. Okay, when it moves away, it's there, but when you hover, it kind of pops out. But depending on your header, sometimes the words might disappear. I didn't really like that. So I went back over here to the theme and I found out that this one, the vision one, makes these all separate from the header. And so I didn't like the blue, that's defaulted. So I actually really like black because my classroom is black and bright colors. Okay. So the next thing I did was I had my header and I made my own header. I had my own header on my other site, and I usually don't use the title for that header. So I changed the image and then I uploaded my header. And even if you change the size of it, there's a problem I'll show you with the headers in Google Sites. So here's my header. And even if I change the header type, I could do the large banner and it kind of pops out a little bit. It's a little muted because it's got this on there. So I take that off and it's nice and bright again, which I love. I love the black with the bright colors. And let's say even if this header was perfectly sized so that nothing was cut off here, there is a problem with the header using this header at all in any of the themes. And this is why I decided instead to do just the title only. I'll show you in a minute. What I don't like is if you click the preview. So here's the preview of the desktop version. So it cuts it off even more. Here's the preview of the tablet version, and here's a preview of the mobile version. It completely cuts off your header. It doesn't resize anything. I don't know why, it just doesn't do it. So here's what I did instead. I changed the header type to a title only, and instead I went to insert. I found my image and I uploaded my header that I created, which I created in Google in PowerPoint, which I will show you in a moment. And I uploaded it not into the header section, but just below the header section. And then I drag it as big as it will let me take it. And I just size it, okay? So what you can do also is you can crop it. You can, make it bigger and move it around as needed. But there's my header. So it kind of looks like it's a header there. Now there's a space here and I didn't really like that. And so what I did in PowerPoint is I made this divider, which I use all throughout my site. So I'll take that, I'll drag it to the header, and then I make it as long as I can. And then when you hit this, it fits it inside of the box, okay? And then I did the same thing underneath. And it kind of made it like bookend it, and it kind of made it look like it fit and it belonged. So now I kind of have a large header, and if I look here, this is my header. It didn't work. I go too fast. All right, let's try this again. I don't know why that's not popping up. So if I click on the mobile version, it resizes the picture on both of those versions. It resizes it. So it doesn't cut your header off if you make the header, if you put the picture just below the header section, okay? So then you can add, an about me page, a little welcome letter. You can add different things. What I did was I actually created some buttons that I wanted to be on my homepage for my students. And let's see, I will show you. So I have Google Meet, I have virtual expectations, and there we go. So we have Google Meet etiquette. Actually, we'll do this. We'll upload it from here. So what I like about these little layouts is that it's perfectly sized. So then you don't have to mess around with that. You can add images, you can add videos, you can add documents. And then if you click this, it just fits it right inside the box. And then you could add, another one. I have Google Classroom here. And then I also had, let's see, Google Calendar. And then I'll just get rid of this one. Uh-oh, it wasn't very happy. Okay, so now we're looking like we're off to a good start. We have a cute header, we have some cute buttons in here, and I'm not really sure why that button is acting crazy, but we have some bright colors, and this one is just not very happy. So let's get rid of that. All right. So what I like about these buttons is that I am able to um, click on them and then I can link it to my Google Classroom. So I can add the web link right there. I can also make buttons and link it to any other page within my page if I'd like. For this one, I can link it right, I can link the picture right to the document that I want to share with my students. And these buttons I made in PowerPoint, and I'll in the next video, I'll show you how to make them. But I can just then get rid of this, and I can get rid of this, and it just kind of cleans it up a little bit. And I know I have a lot going on here, but I like that these are uniform because when things are kind of the same, it makes it look cleaner, even though there are a lot of things going on. And so I'll kind of show you what my actual web page looks like. So here's what mine looks like, very similar. I do have a Bitmoji GIF classroom, and I have this, I just Googled GIF arrow, and then I added that. And then these are linked to documents, and it takes you, the parents, right to the expectations. I have a footer here, it links right to my school. And then I have my welcome page, and on there I have my about Mrs. Ambrose. I have pictures, a short bio. I have a little carousel with my family. These are all things that are in the side bar right here. So I have the carousel, the picture image carousel right here. You can add the dividers. I didn't really love, which is the reason why I picked this. If you look at the divider, it's just a gray bar. I didn't really like that. So I was like, you know what? I can make a better one. And so I went in PowerPoint and I made one. And you just go and you can add, you know, the different things to make it personal. I just found this, I Googled teal header because teal is my favorite color and my classroom is black and bright colors, heavy on the teal. And so on all of my sub pages within my site, I use this header right here. And we'll click that so that it will be brighter because I don't like how muted that is. But again, you have to wait for it to load and it takes a minute sometimes. So while we're waiting, you can keep the words here until you're ready to change them. But I wasn't really liking the fonts. So what I did instead was created in PowerPoint. I created different titles for things. So I must not have created this one. Okay, bear with me. So I will go to the About Me page. That'll be easier. So let's upload the header again. Okay. And let's get rid of this. And now I'm going to upload the About Me title that I created in PowerPoint. This is much brighter and cuter, and you can just drag it and make it larger. Okay. But then I uploaded, I love the Bitmoji extension in Google Chrome. I have it right here. I just click on it. So just Google Bitmoji extension and I type About Me and I right click and, well, that one's not popping up, but anything that you find, you can right click it and just save it to your computer. And I don't know why, for some reason, this does not want to become bright for me, but then you can adjust that. Okay. And then you can add pictures. So if you have pictures of yourself or your family and you want to add them, you can add those. You can add a text box, and then you can drag things around, which is nice. So if you don't want it lined up this way, then you can click the text box and you can bring it over here. And then you can type type something about your family. You know, and type your little bio. And for some reason, this is not wanting to work right now. It keeps thinking. All right, so that's kind of the gist of the About Me page. I will show you. Oh, there we go. It's nice and bright again. So I don't like how it's not centered, so you can drag this and make it bigger, and then it centers it a little bit better in there. Okay, so on my actual site, I'll quickly show you. Here's my About Me page. It has the information. I have a contact page. I also have a parents page where I will put a letter here. I have a link to Google Classroom. I created these little logos, or found them. I created these, and it links right to the pages. I included some tutorials I found on YouTube for the parents, how to use Google Classroom, how to use Google Meet, how to use Epic. I also have a student page, has links to Google Classroom. It has expectations, which are also located on the home page. And then I have an assignment page with this GIF I found, the newsletter. And then in my math page, I included buttons for Khan Academy, Connect Ed, multiplication practice, and then each of my units. I have in my Google Drive, I've created places for their family letter, the home link, and math boxes. This was very tedious and took me some time, but I have these easily accessible for all my students, and just as a resource. And then I also have videos. I have reading and writing separated for communication arts. I have grammar videos that I created, grammar videos that I found, some things that my students talk about when they come back and visit me, some of these videos and songs that we learn to sing. So this is kind of the gist of my site. In the next video, I'll show you how to make the titles and the buttons. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, just let me know.